So in one of my previous chapels, I went searching for someone I hadn't seen in a while. And I didn't quite find that person, but subsequently she reached out to us through a letter, and we got to hear, some of the things that little Janice was up to. This morning's chapel, I wanted to visit a different friend that I know a lot of you haven't seen for a while. The friend I'm talking about is our school campus. Let's take a walk around. One of the first things you'll notice when you are back on campus is we now have a fence around all the buildings, which wasn't there before. Of course, our pool, which is normally filled with your laughter as you're enjoying beach day with all of your friends. The ESP playground, you can see a tree that's down in the distance. It actually crushed one of our sheds, but we really had very little damage from the storms. And then here's the sidewalk that many of you normally would be walking up to chapel each day, which right now it's pretty open and quiet, but you can see how beautiful things are on campus, just green and coming back to life as spring turns into summer. This is an area of campus that we don't use a whole lot, but it does have a beautiful garden, Amanda's garden, and you can see that the flowers are in full bloom. The roses are blooming right now around the St. Francis statue. And then you can see the retention pond, which is really a great habitat for a lot of animals and wildlife on campus. And then looking around towards the back of middle primary and seeing the chapel green. Our trail is pretty quiet right now. It really needs kids walking on it, enjoying the woods and the outdoor part of our campus. But for now, it's just waiting for you. Our regular school garden, which is really doing quite well, I guess because we've had a lot of rain. So the harvesting is being done by a few teachers here and there, and I'm pretty sure by people who live in the neighborhood, which is great. Here's a fun spot where kids like to play outside of upper primary or just to relax and visit. You can see a playground in the distance, the cottage green, and then finally a playground up close near middle primary that kids like to climb and spend time on. The swings would normally be in full use during active play, and people would be out playing soccer and football, learning to get along and to share and just having a good time together. The campus is a really different place when you're not there. One thing that we do know when kids are on campus is we have to expect the unexpected. And here's something that I didn't expect to see on my walk. It looks like a tomato plant is growing right there on the ground next to where the swings are. So if students were there right now, I'm sure that wouldn't have a chance to be able to grow there. But there it is. And I'll check on that periodically and see how it's doing. Here's an area of campus that lower primary uses a lot between their building and the library. It's a really quiet, peaceful, shady area of campus. And of course, woodworking happens on the backside of that. This is an area of campus that we haven't used a whole lot, but now that there's a fence around it, if you can see that in the distance, we'll be able to use this a lot more, and it will be like discovering an area that's been there all along, but we're getting to use it a lot more for the first time. If you've driven by, you've probably seen some trees down around campus. That was the major damage that we had, and most of the trees are cleaned up, but this one's still lying there. It was really a big, tall pine tree, and it's left a large hole in the ground. This area of campus, I know kids like it when their parents or special friends visit and you get to sit at those tables for lunch or something like that. You're probably having lunch with your parents on a regular basis right now, so that might not seem like a special treat, but it will be once you're back in school on campus. And I'll end with just another look at chapel, since we're concluding chapel this morning, and say that we miss you. We hope to see you soon. Take care, and God bless.